Hello, welcome back to the Frayed Brush. Today we're going to be tackling some skin. Some of you may remember this guy from the hair tutorial video I previously did. For today we're going to be using trusty Artist Opus Series S Size 1. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know that Artist Opus is my go-to brush brand. Today we get to see my go-to paint brand, which is Reaper Master Series paints. Great paint brand. I believe it was the first paint brand I ever started painting with a couple years back. Really great paint line. Never really had any issues. It's been a great experience with them so far. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna base coat all the flesh in bronzed shadow, okay? So we'll do our 8 drops bronze shadow, 2 drops water. Because of my OCD, I have to use even numbers. Give that a good mix. And we'll get started here. You want to go ahead and do a good base coat with the bronze shadow. Might take you a couple coats, okay, but good solid base coats are the key. We want to, if we hit that hair we've already done on it, that's fine. We're allowed to. Nothing wrong with going back and doing some cover up or some repair. The flesh color I had on there before, I don't remember what it was. I just kind of thrown it on there to get an idea of how the hair was looking. That was a fairly insignificant coat of paint. Served its purpose. Now it's time to move on. Looks like it is going to take a couple coats for sure. One thing about it though, I do work in thin enough coats that it dries fairly fast. So there's not a lot of waiting. Eight drops paint, 2 drops water. Could have been maybe a little too thin, but it's always better to be too thin than not thin enough. Like I said, if we get some on that hair we've already done, no biggie. We'll go back, touch it up at the end. Unfortunately, with age comes eye problems, so let me grab my glasses I use for painting so I can actually see the model. It's going to take, like I said before, it's going to take a couple coats to get good coverage. But pluses to the thin paint is dries really fast. And if you do a zenithal prime, I'll do a video on that later. It's basically just where you use 3 colors to prime instead of 1. But the thin coats, if you're going over just a zenithal prime, then you can see the shadows and highlights underneath, or through the paint, I should say. And it really makes it a lot easier if that's the look you're going for. I don't mind taking time to paint. I don't mind being careful with my base coats or anything like that. A lot of painters, will sit there and they'll be like, it's a base coat, it doesn't matter, get it on there, and that's fine. That's their model. They're allowed to paint that way. However, I'm not in a race, not in a big hurry to get done, really. So take my time, enjoy it. You can tell how fast these layers are drying, because I literally just did this side of his face and flipped over, put some on this side, and went right back to this side, and it was already dry. I could paint over. One thing you have to be careful with, at least acrylic paints. I don't know about any others. I've never really stepped outside the realm of acrylic paints, but if you don't let it dry all the way, it has the potential to tear. So you want to be careful and let each layer dry. That way you don't tear the layer underneath it, because then that creates a whole other issue, because then that area is no longer smooth. You got this little ring here. Okay, so we got the initial coat down the face of the bronzed shadow. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna start moving into the bronzed skin, but we're gonna do it by mixing it in with the bronzed shadow. So the next one, we're gonna do 6 drops of the bronzed shadow. We're gonna go 2 drops of the bronze skin, and 2 drops of water. Let's mix that up and see how it's looking, if it really lightens it up at all. Because the first color in essence was just our shadow color. This next coat needs to be brighter. It's not quite good enough, so let's try another 2, and we'll go ahead and put another 2 drops of water so it's not dry. Let's see how much brighter that gets. Still not a lot brighter, but we can see if that starts bringing us up some. So this is going to go everywhere but the deepest recesses. I do want to do a gradual increase in brightness. But I don't want to blow it out right off the bat. I can't really tell. Got a couple coats on. Basically what we're gonna do, we're gonna do these coats lighter and lighter, and refine the areas down further and further. We might need to go a little bit brighter. But again, with us using these thin coats, it should blend fairly well, and there shouldn't be any really harsh transitions. And those low areas, like I said, leave that first color we just put down. It's in the shadows. We'll leave it there. Another thing you have to watch out too is if your paint gets too thin, especially as we get lighter, you really start to get this like chalky effect. We kind of want to stay away from that, so we keep getting the smooth finish to it. Okay, so let me see. Last one we did, I don't remember what the last one we did was. Let's just throw some down here. So let's do, we'll do 5 drops of the bronze skin, and we'll do 3 drops of the bronze shadow. We'll do 2 drops water. Like I said previously, you know, this channel is all about, you know, learning to paint, and I am definitely learning. So I use Reaper paints all the time, but I've never done that heavy blending. Kind of just use the colors outright, and that's pretty much no change. So let's go. 2 more drops of the bronze skin. I want to keep it thin, so 2 more drops of water. Yep, that's lighter. Okay. Oh, anything. If you're watching this channel to learn something, you'll either learn something to do or learn something not to do. So win-win either way. Now, since we got our color lighter, we're going to go into even a smaller area now. And I'm pretty sure not everybody works in this many layers and everything, but you know, this is the way I enjoy doing it. Remember, keep paint thin. And now with even this lighter color, we're going to stay further and further away from the recesses, because what's really going to give us our shadows is that initial color we put down. even as we go onto the forehead. We're going to brighten up less and less. It's not looking too bad, actually. If I get my head out of the way. Yeah, I think this turned out pretty good. Of course, thin paint. It's drying really fast. So, which is allowing us to work quicker. No, moving right along. I like the way that's turning out so far. Really like that. Yeah, just a couple more spots. All right. So now, shooting from the hip, I don't plan anything out. So I don't exactly pay attention to my ratios. So we'll mix it up a lot this time. So there's 8 drops of bronze skin. We'll do 1 drop of bronze shadow, and let's try, I don't know, 4 drops of water. We'll see how we like that. One thing I've learned from watching a lot of miniature painters online that are significantly more skilled than me is, you know, there's not necessarily a recipe for everything because there's so many variables to take into effect. That's all right. There's our so far. We'll add a little more in there. We'll do a little bit of a jump here. Add more water. Why not? Yeah, that's brighter. That's not looking too bad. All right. So now, as with the previous colors, smaller and smaller sections. I'm going for just a normal overhead lighting here. I've never attempted OSL, and I don't necessarily want to start now. We're just going to keep refining those brighter areas down further and further. And before you know it, will be the final highlight. Yep, I like the way that's turned out. Yep, that's looking good. So I actually want to go back to one of my previous colors here. And I noticed just a little part of his eyelid here. this lower eyelid here. Right here where his lips sticking out a little bit. Ooh, can't see any of that. Okay. So right here at his eyelid. A little bit right here where his cheek's sticking out. And it's the same thing on this side. The little piece right there. And the little piece right there. And caught up. And I missed it again. It wasn't in the video. But it was... that section right there is what I just painted on both sides. So, all right. Now, let's go ahead and do big jumps. See how it turns out. If it doesn't look right, we can go back over it. Now we're gonna go straight. Straight bronze skin. 8 drops bronze skin. 2 drops water. Let's see what we got. All right, so I want to go a little bit lighter. So now let's bring in 1 drop of we're not going to use that. Hold on. That was the incorrect paint. Sorry if you hear my shaker. All right, here we go. Bronze highlight. Not blonde highlight. I didn't pre-prep this bottle, so bear with me. We're going to go 1 drop here. No, we're not. Oh, trusty Reaper Poke Tool. Put the cap back on because I will poke myself. I've seen me do it. All right, so we'll go 1 drop. See how much that lightens it up. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Now, you know what? We'll do another drop of water. Let's live dangerous. Let's put 2. Give it a good mix. Because we want to make sure it's thin enough to not necessarily cover up any detail and give us any harsh transitions. All right, so for this one, we're gonna barely be putting it anywhere almost. So only on the really, really highest parts. So here and here. And we'll throw some here. A little touch there. And then we'll go back, get a little bit more paint. And we'll go here. Here. And put a little bit up here. And we'll hit a little bit on the forehead. Right there. And right Okay, so now we see where we've got, well, I don't know. They look kind of rough and kind of not. So let's grab a little bit of the previous color we did and see if we can kind of smooth out these edges a little bit. Shit. Let's go right around those edges. I smoothed it out quite a bit. Yep, okay, so we need to do the same thing over here. We'll just hit these edges. Kind of smooth that transition out a little bit. Yep, I like it. It's looking better. Same thing over here. Kind of harsh right there. Right there. How we looking? Yep, that's much better. All right. I think that's going to be good for the skin. Of course, I just did the face. Next time you see him, you know, the hands will be done and everything like that. Once I decide what part we're going to do on him next. But plenty more to be done. Hope you liked the video. If you did, be sure and like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification, or hit the bell icon for notifications when another video is put out. I hope everybody has a great day, and remember, paint bravely.